Well, hey gang, welcome back to SpicySnafu, where it is always situation normal and sometimes life gives you lemons. So speaking of lemons, it's been an interesting week. We got laid off last Thursday. I think there's no easy way to put it. It stinks. It's for financial reasons. We found out there was an HR meeting about 30 minutes beforehand. You know, worked in a corporate environment before. I've been on the other side of this table before. It is what it is. You know, you find out you're doing a workforce reduction and usually you're shit canned on the spot and asked to pack your desk and your stuff up and leave right now. You're, escorted off the facility, and essentially that's just how it goes, right? But I endeavored to make positive content, and generally, if I got to shit on something the whole time, I don't really make that video. That's why a lot of times our cheap functional gear videos I don't end up putting them out, because there's a lot of B-roll that just ends up to me crapping on something that, you may or may not have thought was gonna suck anyway. So we're gonna NARFCOM doing the news, the best gig I've ever had. I 100% hands down loved it, even on the bad days, you know what I mean? It was still amazing. I've always tried to have a couple degrees of separation from my personal stuff and my work stuff. So between my NARFCOM and spicy things, I've always tried to not really bring it up much or talk about it much here. If you watch from the start and our initial ruckus content, we had our NARFCOM shirts on, so there was that. But for the most part, I really just wanted to do this as a creative outlet. Hopefully along the way, help the homies, get out there. If it blows up, cool, we can do things for people we know and try to, help folks find some fun enjoyment in their work, I guess. But really just to have something to edit that's not the news, and to get to film things and do camera work, because that's really what I love to do. And I didn't have any equipment, starting. I didn't have a modern camera body, so I went and I bought an old Sony camera, and then bought an adapter for all the Canon lenses I had used years and years ago. And it's been a very expensive creative outlet over the past few years, both on a financial and a human costs. It was a lot of debt to start, that's just kind of how it went. I didn't have any savings between, medical bills and everything else. So I just wanted to start doing this YouTube thing. So we did it. You really find out who people are when they think that you're making money and that you have money and that you're able to, help them in some way. And, relationships in general require lots of communications. No regrets from doing this thing. It's been a wild ride, but I'm a camera guy and a shooter. I don't really like to do much else. That's what I like to do and love. And, regardless of how many times my wallet has tried to unsubscribe, I just love shooting and filming things. So it kind of brings us to our current state of the union, or spice of the union, however it works out, but it takes us to today or yesterday. So yesterday we launched our first episode of News of the Pews. I'm so bad at this. News from the Pew is a other channel, apparently. I just learned that today. But News of the Pews. Pews is in propane and propane accessories, not church pews, although I'm big fan of church pews. We launched this thing yesterday. It was an amazing response, and I want to say thank you for that. I'm going to read from my notes to try to keep it not going on too many rants and rabbit holes. So I'm hopeful we can eventually grow this into something that can support itself financially. It would be amazing. But for now, it's our Frankenstein experiment. We're not able to make any promises on production or when we're going to be able to put stuff out news-wise, because we are also looking for a job to continue to eat. If you don't work, you don't eat, right? I'm pretty sure Paul says that somewhere in the Bible. And I want to work. I love doing what I have done for the last 5 years. It's my passion. It's the only thing I want to do, honestly, for the rest of my days. Me and Andrew have been very overwhelmed at the response we've had from you guys over the past 24 hours or so with us putting out this first video. And you guys are some real ones, and I really do appreciate you. And it's been a wild ride so far. I know Andrew does too. But aside from the propaganda, we have brainstormed a lot about what else we could be filming. We really want to know what kind of content you guys would like to see. We've discussed all sorts of stuff across the board, from, you know, gun things to not gun things. I personally really want to talk about Iran right now and what's happening in the world. And not that I just want to steal S3 Underground's daily updates, because those are amazing, but try to do some kind of, you know, daily news content. We generally like to do things that are humorous, so hopefully we can, you know, continue to make it funny and fun. But really, we'd like to know what you guys want to see as far as content goes. That's the most important thing, is what are the viewership, what are the viewers actually engaging with and wanting to know about, or see us discuss, you name it. We'll come up on a topic. You've watched any video of Andrew, you know he likes to go on monologues and has lots of thoughts on lots of things. And generally I'm more of a, you know, Bill O'Reilly approach to some things sometimes. It just depends, right? We're in this for the long haul though, and we, you know, care about the cause, and that's a big part of it for me. Is I care about the cause and the Constitution, to the 2A, our rights as individuals, and trying to find a way to, you know, keep doing that as a job, honestly. Thank you guys again for watching. Thanks for being here. Thank you for all the overwhelming love and support and encouragement, prayers, anything else, well wishes, you name it, over the past week. It's been really appreciative. I really appreciate anybody who's just checking on me to make sure I'm not, you know, looking in too deep into the void, if you catch my drift. Because, you know, you got to check on your homies. We can't, nobody can do this by ourselves. We are not an island. And so if you are a believer, you know, that's a huge part of how I think we deal with any loss and trauma and, you know, disappointment. Life's not going to be easy. You look at the lives of men in the Bible, there's very few of them that were uneventful and, you know, calm, we'll say. I guess calm for some periods, right? There's seasons of trial, seasons of waiting. Sometimes you get a Pax Romana, but for the most part, I think life is gonna be chaos. Not that I expect life to be easy, but the past 5 years, it's been pretty amazing. And I have to, you know, stop and acknowledge that and thank my wife and all the people that love me for being able to do this, because it's only with all the people's support I've had since I wanted to start doing this creative outlet that it's the only way it happened anyway. So thank you. I really do appreciate you, and you know, spending your eyeball time here with me in the bamboo and the Coochie tunnels. Hopefully you get that reference. Either way, I appreciate you for being here. Thank you for your eyeball time. It's been a wild ride, and I just wanted to thank everybody that's been here from, you know, the ground floor of this new craziness. And, you know, if you're new here, hey, welcome. Appreciate having you. My name's Taylor. Used to do ARFCOM editing. Now I am currently looking for work. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay safe. And if you can't stay safe, stay spicy. Till next time.